The last presidential debate, a little more than 9 hours away now, and there is a lot at stake for both sides in this final showdown before Election Day. We're taking a look at the expectations for President Trump and his rival, former Vice President Joe Biden. Fair and balanced, as always. Donna Brazil is here, former DNC interim chair and Fox News contributor. But first to Ronna McDaniel. Donna, Bill will speak with you in just a moment. Ronna, I looked down and there's a new tweet from the president, and he appears to be focusing his attacks pre-debate, at least, on tonight's moderator, Kristen Welker, suggesting that she will be far worse than the interview that he just had for 60 Minutes. Is that a good strategy going into this tonight? Good morning.
Well, the president obviously has had to deal with the Biden Debate Commission changing rules on the fly, being stacked against the president. We have had moderators who are clearly Democrats, and I think it's good to put a marker down that the American people want to see fairness. They want to see tough questions asked of Joe Biden. He hasn't had any. We don't want to know what kind of milkshake he's going to have today. We want to know about the fact that he's going to raise taxes, that he's going to embrace the Green New Deal, that he already said he's going to create a commission to look into not just stacking the Supreme Court, but going beyond that. So these are real substantive issues, and I hope the moderator this time won't play differently with Donald Trump than she does with Joe Biden.
There are new developments this morning, as you well know, regarding Hunter Biden and his business dealings with his father overseas. How do you suggest the president handle this tonight? How is he preparing for that? We asked a surrogate from the Biden campaign earlier how he'll handle such attacks, but Mike Huckabee yesterday suggested don't lead with this. Talk about the economy, talk about all the other issues for the American people. Will this be a focus for the president?
Well, I do think we need to talk about the economy and the very different policy disagreements between these candidates. Joe Biden raising taxes coming out of a pandemic would destroy many American families. But this does warrant being brought up. Listen, no other network besides this one has raised the issue of Hunter Biden and peddling access to his father when he was vice president and monetizing that office. It does seem like corruption. He now has a business partner coming forward and saying this is true. This needs to be vetted. And I think it is really frightening to see our press, every other network except for Fox News, has decided to black this out and not discuss this at all. And it is a very serious issue and allegation that the Biden campaign hasn't even refuted the authenticity of these emails and this laptop. We need to understand that.
But if, as you all know, if the president launches that attack against Joe Biden, he is somehow preparing to respond to that. And he has not been on the campaign trail. He's supposedly been home all these days prepping for this debate. Some have suggested, Chris Wallace suggested on this program earlier, that perhaps Joe Biden will respond by asking him about these reports of a secret Chinese bank account, that he paid $180,000 in taxes in China. So how is the president preparing for the counterattack, the potential counterattack from Biden?
Well, I think it'd be nice, actually, if the moderator asked Joe Biden a tough question for once and asked about this corruption. I don't think these two issues are even comparable. I think the fact that the vice president of the United States, as he had jurisdiction over two countries, his son was receiving $50,000 a month from Burisma in Ukraine and also was receiving money from China for business dealings, and now it looks like he was negotiating with a Chinese energy company, not just for money for himself, but money for his dad, who was the vice president of the United States. These are real issues. This laptop is something that should be brought up by the moderator. President Trump shouldn't have to bring it up. The media should. Okay. Why are they protecting Joe Biden?
I've got to leave it there, but real quick, we've heard from the president himself that he intends to let Joe Biden speak a little bit more compared to the interruptions we saw in the first debate. There will also be this mute button. Just give us big picture what your expectation is going in for this and what you want to see from the president, especially when it comes to letting Joe Biden speak more.
Well, my hope is that they really do talk about policy and that the American people get a clear picture. President Trump is already pulling us out of this pandemic with 11.4 million jobs. You just saw the lowering of unemployment claims. You're already seeing with the PPP loans that this president has kept this economy afloat. He's built the best economy before. He'll do it again. And on top of that, we're on track to a vaccine. And that is because of this president harnessing the innovation of this country. Joe Biden wants to raise taxes, embrace the Green New Deal. Our gas prices go up. Our home heating prices go up, and every American's going to pay more under him. So let's talk about policy.
Ronna, great to have you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.